So do you know the channel Truth Stream Media? They have a video report on a movie. Do you remember this movie, Midsommar? Raises serious concerns about the forces behind the occult transformation of America. Take that in a moment. The occult transformation, of America. So this is your basic Helena Blavatsky. This is your basic, the externalization of the hierarchy, bringing the things of the secret society that was kept and stored by the great people on top, the kings and things of that nature that was into it, now bringing it out to the masses for the transformation. So anyhow, this is about bringing the little people now on the bottom into the trap. And so, we're seeing this in videos, we're documenting this. This is a major theme and point where Christianity is being voided out and transformed from within, and it is being commingled with New Age. So you're being replaced. And this is what sort of predates the step before they kill you. Now, I am one who goes by the feasts. I'm very into the Hebraic understanding of the feasts and how those work. And I very much am for the teaching and understanding within the scriptures from our Lord that the actual true born again church, not the fake church, but the true born again church is leaving here. But we also know that there will be those who are cut off as slaves, Galatians 4. And there will be people who repent and come to Christ as the elect during the tribulation, both Jew and Gentile alike. And many Gentiles are going to get it. So this is the conditioning that's for them as we're being replaced, and they are going full steam ahead with this plan to flip society and turn it to the degree that man now does idolatry and spiritual adultery against God and tries to become like God, just as Lucifer did, and just as our parents fell for the same lie in the garden, Adam and Eve. You'll be just like God, knowing good and evil. Well, we know evil now, don't we? We've experienced it for many, many years, and it has destroyed the earth. That said, other people are starting to notice how, look at this, Ari Aster's Midsommar is more than just a movie. It's a milestone in modern human affairs. So they're noticing this push and this shove that's happening from the media and this machine that pushes us along to occultism. And I mean, I'm watching videos of artists, and we'll be doing shows on that coming up very shortly, where I can show you that they are just blatantly corrupting the hearts and minds of people to one of the worst sins of all sins, which is to not love the Lord your God with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength, as Jesus did, but rather to compete with him, to sort of try to erase him and to become like him. It feels like we're at the brink of a major transition, they say, in society, and the clues of what's happening and what's to come may be buried in this film. The film stands out as one of the most blatant and self-referential examples of occult media in recent times, and very cultish. One which we could not personally ignore. And this movie isn't just a movie, it's a signpost on the road society is being driven down. You want to hear a little bit of it? And then I'll put, this is an hour and 12 minutes, so I'll put the link down below in the description box so you can go feast on this for yourself. And I don't know if these guys are Christians or not, but they seem to be Christian friendly and have some sort of biblical basis for their views. They understand about the mark of the beast and stuff. Doesn't mean they are born again, but they're not completely in the dark either. So I don't know.
Last year we did a video called Does Society Know It's Being Initiated? And since then, pretty much everything we said in that video about the level society is at being inundated with what was once referred to as occult themes has only skyrocketed to a cartoonish level of almost cliche absurdity. Again, occult means hidden, but this stuff isn't even really occult anymore because it isn't hidden. It's blatantly being shoved in everyone's face. Now we live in a society that's completely awash in what was once occult symbolism, but nothing's been so overt as the new Ari Aster film Midsommar, which doesn't even come across as a film so much as a mile marker on the road that society is currently headed down toward the destination awaiting us in whatever the next phase is after postmodern.
Be this as it may, the religion of the ancients is the religion of the future. Okay, this is why I encourage everybody to go check out one of my favorite channels. It's called Trans Apocalypse Now. Yes, Trans Apocalypse Now. I'll try to remember to put that in the link in the description box below so you can go check out, because it'll explain to you what the Babylonian deities and the worship was comprised of and how that's fueling the current Rainbow Mafia, particularly with this bringing the he and the she into union for this divine androgyne, for the holy transsexuals of Kabbalah and Freemasonry into a cult where they have the legal veracity to prosecute and persecute those who do not join in with their affirmations that you will agree with us on every point or else, right? That whole attitude. And so that is one good place to go. Another place to go is one of my favorite channels I talk about all the time, either Jeremiah Cohen's channel. I like to go to quite a lot. He'll show you the signs and symbols and all that. I like going to Josh Sparrow's channel. I do like these guys as well. I like going to Vigilant Citizen, who's a Muslim and does not trust in the Son of God, but he's like an expert in the occult and the programming, MK Ultra, all the things that go along with that. And those are some good places to start to really understand how we're being pushed along, for some people against their will, and for some people who are just so ignorant, which means without knowledge of what's actually going on all around you, pushing you towards the worship of literally Lucifer. So that's what's going on. This is spiritual. This is about arresting your worship of Jesus Christ and forcing you to worship yourself as God and all the consequences that come along with it. Let's just blow that baby up. Oh my. A few centuries more and there will linger no sectarian beliefs in either of the great religions of humanity. Brahmanism, okay, so that's Hindu. Buddhism, Christianity, I have no idea what that means. I've never heard that word in my life. Mahomedanism. Does anybody know what that is? I'm sure I didn't pronounce that right. Will all disappear before the mighty rush of facts. Oh, put that in quotes, right? Facts. But this can only come to pass when the world returns to the great religion of the past, right? You know, all of this evil goes back to the Tower of Babel or Babel. I've heard it both ways. And, you know, it brings forward then to Egypt, bring it forward to Assyria, bring it forward to Babylon, I don't know much about the Medo-Persians, to be honest, bring it forward to Greece and Rome. And it is all this recycling of these false deities that Paul tells us that behind the idols are demons. I think that's 1 Corinthians 10. To the knowledge of those majestic systems which preceded. So you're about ready to see global Babylon, all right? Planet Babylon, planet witchcraft, planet techno witchcraft, theocracy, technocracy, insanity, selfish humanity that believes herself to be God omnipotent with the sinful nature to boot. Madam Helena Blavatsky, a Jew, by the way, in unbelief. And this is in her book, Isis Unveiled. Oh my.
This review might seem kind of out of the blue, but we review lots of movies, mainly behind the scenes. We just don't get a chance to talk about them and put stuff up about them on the channel. But this film seems a little different. It's extremely in your face with a lot of occultic information, a blatant display of rituals, and a very particular attitude about the decline of society and the rise of really ancient systems that seem to be making a comeback. The film Midsommar unleashes a transformative horror film about a cult society who live and die by annual rituals that control the destiny of their lives. Sacrifice is the unexpectedly seductive answer that Dani finds to ending her suffering, to breaking up with a bad relationship, and sharing her burdens collectively with a community that revels in the pain of emotion and the joys and benefits of being part of a murderous Luciferian death cult. It's a society that's so sick, it'll leave you wondering, wait, is our own society even sicker?
As all of these pagan and occult belief systems are being promoted and pushed more and more on society, they're getting more and more blatant to the point that we're being taken well past just the cutesy Harry Potter version of it that's been pushed on every middle school age child the world over to...
Not my children. My children have not been exposed to Harry Potter, but they are talking about the progression of evil. And wow, look at that. Our ritual masks and hoodwinks are second to none. Yeah, I mean, it's a big double-tongued, double-minded lie fest. We're going to talk about some videos coming up by some artists, and we're going to talk about the attitude of the commenters and how they're all for it. They're all for New Age. They're all for becoming gods. They see a hope in this technology. They see a hope in this witchcraft. And God forbid you tell them a warning about witchcraft and where it's going to take them, and tell them the most obvious thing on the planet Earth, that you will be held responsible for your own sins and wrongdoings if you don't let Jesus pay for them. Oh my word. Unleash the fury of people when you remind them that there's a consequence coming, and do it with finesse, do it with love, do it with strategic wording to arrest their heart and to give them some sense of reality that exists beyond this temporal hellhole of lies that Satan masquerades through the bodily forms of attractive, hypersexualized young women in videos, who are selling this idea that man can become God, and the people suck it down. Lord, help us.
more and more blatant to the point that we're being taken well past just the cutesy Harry Potter version of it that's been pushed on every middle school age child the world over to a much, much darker realm of it. But it's being promoted as if this is society's answer to everything. It's the answer to all of society's ills, as if we just come together harmoniously as one human hive under these quote-unquote natural, nature-centric belief systems. And the movies that are coming out make no apologies for the horrible violence that are in them, because that's just a part of the natural cycle that we're all supposed to just accept. So,
well, if you want to become gods, then yeah, somebody has to go. I'm gonna be careful here because it's got some naked booty in it dancing. Don't want to stumble no one. So here's an example of this girl, and she's telling this story, and the people in the comment section were all kind of trying to figure it out. And look, they've got these weird cultish sort of eyes. She has this really strange song. This is an odd artist. She's way into New Age and hedonism. I mean, these people are so demon possessed.